So my question to you, you know, half a dozen. If you don't know this man's music,
Yes.
you'll get to learn him if you listen to his music. But half a dozen is a concept, and I want you to talk about that concept as an album, and taking that concept and using it as a part of your branding message for your podcast and for you as a you just told a significant story about how it means a lot to you as it relates to your father and his experiences working in that bakery. What does it mean to you to take literally a half a dozen donuts at the end of a show, share it with a guest? And also, what was the impact of like naming your album that and how that translated into the podcast? Kind of crazy question, but
Well, to jump into that, my dad has been in the catering business for over, it's going on 20 years right now. And one of his biggest things, and you'll see it on the side of his catering truck, it says, "Let's break bread." So that always reminds me, these donuts, we breaking bread. We are here in communion. We are here, partaking and enjoying each other's company, getting to know each other. We breaking bread. So that's where the half a dozen, as far as that aspect goes. Um, and it's like, who wants to split? I mean, a half a dozen is a cool, you know, quantity
yeah,
to split. Who wants to have
right.
12? A whole dozen. That make a big back. You know what
At
I'm
least make you
saying?
sick,
So,
if nothing else.
uh, but but it actually, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the way my diabetes set up, but no. My dad had been in business, catering business for going on 20
Mhm.
years, and on the side of his catering trucks, it has his uh his statement or his motto or whatever it says, "Let's
Mhm.
break bread." So I always figured that would be a great way to end my podcast, was breaking bread by sharing a half a dozen with my guests. And so that's where that came from. But the actual concept of half a dozen came from a project that I had put out with Chris King, and a way to promote that project. Actually, I did this show before I put out the project. I had a showcase, a kind of showcase or something like that, called Donuts with Dough, and I had got it was Dapper Donuts. They used to have a kiosk, like a little kiosk in Opry Mills Mall, and I got 100 donuts.
Mhm.
They were the small donuts. They were like the main sponsor. And I gave away free donuts. I had a couple of guest MCs come. I had my guy Trees from Memphis uh, come up. I want to say Virgos. I'm trying to think of everyone I had on that lineup. Virgos, my guy Tylen, Wall. What's up, Wall? So I think he was on that show. I had my guy Big Chris from Big Time Sports and
Mhm.
Entertainment Talk. He was the host. I had man, he gonna kill me. I can't remember the DJ's name, but it was just a whole like concept. So, and I had a backdrop with donuts. I had a big donut, um, inflatable donut as a prop for people to take pictures with. So that's the inception of Donuts with
So
Dough.
this
And
donut concept is bigger than just. I mean, I'm learning now, real time. Like even after being in the studio with you for a session, even after listening to your album multiple times, and listening to a lot of different music from you, and seeing some of your podcast episodes, um, I'm just now realizing that this concept of Donuts with Dough is much bigger than just an album title or an album cover that you expanding upon. This has been part of your life since you was a kid, right?
yeah, yeah. So it was like when I was promoting the show, I just kind of put everything together at that point. This was like later on into me making music. Like had projects out before the half a dozen. But it's like this is gonna be corny. I felt like I was feeling like, man, this is gonna be corny, but it might actually
Mm-hmm.
work when I put it all together and make people realize the correlation between all of it. Then it might be like, dang, okay, that's cool. Bro actually took things from his past and brought it into his present and made it something cohesive that we can grasp and and take a hold of and actually be a whole brand behind it. So that was the thing. It was a real faith thing because it's like I got all this pink and blue stuff. They gonna think whatever, donuts and this fat dude with this donut, like, but it worked. So,
Man, it
what can I
it
say?
definitely worked. I'll be honest with you. My first impression of it was attractive. Like I was attracted to the branding message of the donut with the sprinkles, and the house, the image that's on the album cover. Yes, it had a kind of a with all due respect, no disrespect at all. It had a kind of a bubble gummish appeal, but it worked. Like it
Yeah,
worked,
yeah,
and I was attracted to that. The fact that in my mind, I'm afar because I'm a creative, a visual creative too. So I create visual art and different things like that. So when I looked at it, I said, it might have that kind of appeal, but this thing might work. Like I could see a brand behind it.